Today, people are looking for an answer to the most boiling question: when will this COVID-19 pandemic end? And how it will end? So today on NedBuzz, we'll talk and analyze about how pandemics end. While there are several scientists from different countries who are keeping their nose to grindstone to find vaccination for COVID-19 to end this pandemic, but the question arises, is vaccination the only way to end a pandemic? The answer is no. Pandemics usually have two types of endings. One, medical, when infection and death rates are extremely low. And second, when fear surrounding the disease has faded, meaning people stop panicking and learn to live with it. The 1918 flu, or commonly known as Spanish flu, the flu that attacked people's respiratory system. To avoid this flu at that time also, people were ordered to wear masks, and schools, theaters, and businesses were shuttered. Still, the flu ended by killing 50 million to 100 million people worldwide in the midst of World War I. The flu, however, also ended socially too. World War I was over, people were ready for a fresh start, a new era, and eager to put the nightmare of disease and war behind them. Until recently, the 1918 flu was largely forgotten. And there are several other pandemics too which ended socially without getting proper medicines or vaccines. Like Hong Kong flu of 1968, which killed 1 million people worldwide. The virus still circulates as a seasonal flu, but the fear attached to it has gone away. The Bubonic plague or Black Death. The pandemic that has still left curiosity to find answers, how it got ended. Plague is a disease that affects humans and other mammals. It is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. The bacterium that transmitted from rodents to humans by the bite of infected fleas. It was the disease behind the Black Death of the 14th century. And in Black Death, the disease passed from infected person to infected person through respiratory droplets. This medieval pandemic began in 1331 in China. The illness, along with a civil war that was raging at the time, killed half the population of China. From there, the plague moved along trade routes to Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Bubonic plague killed at least a third of the European population, while half of the population of Siena and Italy also died. How the pandemic ended is still a mystery, as several theories are attached to it. Like the most popular theory is implementation of quarantines. Yes, Black Death is invention of quarantines. The uninfected would typically remain in their homes and only leave when it was necessary, while those who could afford to do so would leave the more densely populated areas and live in great isolation. At that time only, the Venetians increased the forced isolation to 40 days or a quarantino, the origin of the word quarantine and the start of its practice in the Western world. Well, at last, the pandemic ended, but the plague recurred. One of the worst outbreaks began in China in 1855 and spread worldwide, killing more than 12 million in India alone. So Black Death, Spanish flu, Hong Kong flu actually ended socially without any vaccination. But there is one disease that actually ended by getting vaccine. Smallpox. This disease swept the world for 3,000 years. The disease killed 3 out of 10 of its victims, often after immense suffering. The disease ended medically by getting an effective vaccine which gives lifelong protection from this disease. English doctor Edward Jenner developed the vaccine. And the last person who contracted smallpox naturally was Ali Mao Mullin, a hospital cook in Somalia in 1977. He recovered from this but died in 2013 because of malaria. Now the question arises, when will this COVID-19 pandemic end? So there are two possibilities. One, that it could end socially, and second, medically. But since the vaccination will still take some time to develop, researchers and historians are saying that the pandemic could end socially before it ends medically. And that can happen as in several countries, governments are allowing market to reopen, students to go to schools and colleges, and industries to get reopened. But still, since we are living in an advanced world, a lot of hopes are there on a vaccine, but that won't be viable until start of 2021.